Why does a Loro Piana coat cost as much as a car? It sounds absurd, but it is true. In the world of ultra-luxury fashion, Loro Piana is the only brand that can charge tens of thousands of dollars for clothes that look incredibly simple. It is quiet, it is logo-less, it is unpretentious, but behind that simplicity lies a paradox that has captivated the world's wealthiest shoppers for decades. How can a plain cashmere sweater, with no patterns, no flashy accessories, no recognizable brand, cost $2,000 or more? And what about the legendary Vicuña coat, which typically costs between $3,000 and $33,000, a figure more often associated with a luxury car than a piece of clothing? Even more interesting, why are billionaires, CEOs, royals, and wealthy families so obsessed with seemingly simple pieces? What makes some of the world's most discerning consumers willing to spend a small fortune on pieces that whisper rather than shout? This contradiction, the tug-of-war between simplicity and extreme value, is what makes Loro Piana one of the most enigmatic brands in luxury fashion. And it raises a much larger question. What makes these simple designs so extraordinary? Loro Piana sits at the top of the luxury hierarchy, and its prices show it. Even its more affordable pieces, like cotton baseball caps and simple wool scarves, start at $360 to $700. At the mid-range, that number skyrockets. Its iconic open-walk loafers, summer walks, and Sea Island cotton polo shirts range from $800 to $2,500, depending on the season and material. But it is at the high end that Loro Piana begins to outshine almost every other luxury brand on the planet. Cashmere sweaters, baby cashmere turtlenecks, storm system jackets, and high-performance outerwear typically cost between $5,000 and $15,000. At this level, each piece is seen not just as clothing, but as a useful work of craftsmanship. And above all, Vicuña, the world's rarest natural fiber, once reserved for Inca royalty. The fabric on which Loro Piana has built its legend, a Vicuña coat can cost between $3,000 and $35,000. A tailored Vicuña suit, or one made from the gift of king's wool, can exceed $4,000, making Loro Piana one of the most expensive tailoring brands in the world. The numbers are staggering, even in the already overhyped world of luxury fashion. Loro Piana stands out, not just for its price, but for the confident, effortless, and elegant way it carries itself. But that brings us to the real mystery. So why is Loro Piana so expensive? What exactly are we paying for? The materials, the craftsmanship, the marketing, the heritage, or the myth that surrounds it? This question opens the door to one of the most fascinating stories in modern luxury, which we will explore together. To understand why Loro Piana stands at the pinnacle of quiet luxury today, we need to go back nearly 2 centuries, long before the brand became a global symbol of sophistication, and long before its name appeared on the shoulders of billionaires and royalty. The story begins in the early 1800s, when the Loro Piana family was a wool merchant in the Piedmont region of northern Italy. They were not designers. They were not a fashion house. They were merchants, sourcing and distributing some of the finest wool across Europe at a time when the quality of textiles determined a nation's wealth and status. In 1924, Pietro Loro Piana officially founded the company in Corona, Italy. Even then, the focus was not on glamorous fashion shows or boutiques on Via Monte Napoleon. Loro Piana was established as a textile specialist, a company dedicated to yarn, mills, and textile science. Its reputation grew quietly, but steadily as it supplied luxury fabrics to Europe's top tailors and fashion houses. The transformation into a fashion powerhouse came much later, in the 1980s. Under the leadership of Sergio and Pierluigi, Loro Piana made a decisive move. It launched its first ready-to-wear collections. The world's best-kept textile secret was now out in the open, wrapped in minimalist Italian lines and the softest fabrics ever produced. And then came the defining moment. In 2013, luxury conglomerate LVMH acquired a majority stake. This marked the beginning of Loro Piana's global expansion. Stores have opened across Asia, North America, and the Middle East, yet the brand has maintained its quiet, understated identity. Today, Loro Piana is a perfect blend of Italian heritage, textile expertise, and quiet sophistication, a brand that does not follow fashion. It redefines it through the power of materials. To understand why Loro Piana commands the highest prices in luxury fashion, we need to step outside the boutique and into the mountains, deserts, and remote lands where its wool originates. Because the true cost of Loro Piana lies not in the clothes you see on the racks, it lies in the biological, geographical, and economic factors that make its raw materials some of the rarest in the world. And so rare raw materials are the basis of extreme pricing, such as Vicuña, the rarest natural fiber on Earth. Of all the materials used in luxury fashion, Vicuña is one of the rarest, finer than cashmere, lighter than merino, softer than baby alpaca. Historically, Vicuña wool was reserved only for Inca royalty. Today, it is so rare that even the world's wealthiest consumers view Vicuña clothing as a collectible heirloom rather than a garment. The reason: Vicuña hair is harvested only every 2 years. Vicuñas are wild animals native to the Andes, protected by strict government regulations in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Herders capture them in a traditional chaccu ceremony, a ceremonial gathering of camels, shear their hair, and release them. No animals are harmed, and domestication is prohibited. Each camel produces only a tiny amount of usable fiber. The yield is so low that it takes the hair of many Vicu as to make one scarf. So scarcity is extremely high. Naturally, the price reflects this. A Loro Piana Vicuña coat can cost between $3,000 and $33,000, and custom-made suits can cost as much as $4,000, figures typically associated with luxury cars or high-end jewelry. For Loro Piana, Vicuña is more than just a fabric. It is a symbol of exclusivity, a fiber that no fast fashion or mass-market brand can replicate. And because Vicuña production cannot exceed nature's limits, supply will always be far lower than global demand. As for baby cashmere, the harvest season is only once in a lifetime. If Vicuña is the king of natural fibers, then baby cashmere is its prince. Baby cashmere is obtained from the undercoat of Herkus goats, but only when they are 6 to 12 months old. After that, the wool thickens and loses its special softness forever. This means each goat produces baby cashmere only once in its lifetime. The total annual global production is very small, much smaller than regular cashmere. The average fiber diameter is only 13 to 13.55 microns, compared to 15 to 16 microns for standard cashmere. And Loro Piana does not just buy baby cashmere. They have industrialized the fiber, built long-term partnerships with herding communities in Mongolia and Inner Mongolia, and become the largest buyer of wool fiber. In practice, this means that Loro Piana controls the supply, a strategic position that allows them to dictate quality standards and pricing. This semi-exclusivity is not marketing, it is economics. In a world with fixed supply and rising demand, prices can only go up. Most luxury brands buy fabrics from outside mills. Loro Piana does not. Instead, they are one of the very few fashion houses in the world to maintain complete vertical integration. Raw fiber sourcing, sorting and cleaning, spinning and weaving, finishing, tailoring, and retailing in Loro Piana stores. This level of control allows them to maintain consistent quality, ensure ethical harvesting, at least in theory, protect proprietary techniques, limit production to maintain exclusivity, increase profit margins by cutting out the middlemen. But vertical integration also means high fixed costs. Loro Piana operates multiple factories in Italy, research labs, artisan workshops, and retail locations around the world. Maintaining this empire is expensive, and the prices reflect that. Economically, Loro Piana is not just selling clothes. They are selling a closed-loop system of luxury from pasture to finished product. The third reason is innovation, slow production, and the science behind softness. Luxury is often romanticized, but for Loro Piana, innovation is as important as tradition. Their materials undergo complex finishing processes, many of which are proprietary and time-consuming. Some of the key innovations include the storm system, a treatment that makes cashmere and wool windproof and water-resistant without losing their softness. This increases performance while saving costs. And wish wool, a merino wool so fine it rivals cashmere, sourced from the top 1% of wool production in the world. Loro Piana yarns undergo slow washing, light milling, hand finishing on select fabrics, and rigorous quality grading. All of this results in long staple fibers with less pilling, better drape and softness. and extremely limited production. In other words, Loro Piana does not just buy rare materials. They improve them through meticulous processes, and slow production means high costs per unit. Loro Piana is not just a brand. It is real scarcity, real cost, real exclusivity, when you put it all together. The rarest natural fibers on the planet. A vertically integrated supply chain, low yields, proprietary technology, and meticulous finishing. The economics become clear. Loro Piana is expensive not just because of its name, but also because fixed supply, determined by nature, global and growing demand, slow and expensive production. The brand controls every stage of the process, intentionally maintained exclusivity. This is luxury in its truest sense. The art of creating beauty from scarcity. For all its prestige, Loro Piana remains at the center of a quiet but persistent controversy. On one hand, the brand is hailed as the gold standard of textile excellence, master of yarn, guardian of Vicuña, an unparalleled expert in cashmere. But on the other, critics say the brand's flawless image hides deeper structural problems. Reports from The Guardian and Italian legal investigations have revealed concerns about Italian subcontractors allegedly violating labor and safety regulations while producing high-priced garments. These revelations have led many to question the authenticity of the coveted "Made in Italy" label, a phrase that carries enormous weight in the luxury world. If some of the production is quietly outsourced to low-cost workshops, what does Italian craftsmanship really mean? The debate does not stop there. Loro Piana markets itself as the pinnacle of quiet luxury, simple, discreet, and refined. But under LVMH, the brand has expanded aggressively around the world. Flagship stores, global marketing campaigns, and high-profile advertising are challenging the silent philosophy. This has divided the public into two opposing camps. The believers, it is worth every penny, the materials are second to none, and the skeptics, it is expensive simplicity marketed to the super rich. The truth, as usual, lies somewhere in between. Loro Piana is more than just a luxury brand. It has become an image of power, wealth, and refined taste in the modern world. Today, Loro Piana products are ubiquitous in the upper echelons of the elite, worn by CEOs on private jets, draped on the shoulders of celebrities at winter resorts, and favored by wealthy, long-established families who value understated elegance. In a culture increasingly saturated with ostentatious logos, Loro Piana represents something money cannot easily buy: discreetness. Its appeal extends to the global elite. Business leaders choose Loro Piana not to stand out, but to express sophistication through texture, style, and materials rather than branding. Billionaires like Bill Gates have long been drawn to the brand because it allows them to dress at the highest level without drawing unnecessary attention. Actors like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt often wear Loro Piana in their everyday wardrobes. Pitt even commissioned a Vicuña suit reportedly costing more than $2,000 for the 2020 Oscars. A few celebrities, for example, reinforce the brand's cultural presence. At the premiere of the 2023 Netflix series Beckham, David Beckham appeared in a tobacco-colored Loro Piana suit, showcasing the brand's refined lines and impeccable tailoring. Meanwhile, luxury icon Gwyneth Paltrow has hosted private Goop Loro Piana dinners at her Montecito home, where she and guests were dressed head to toe in the brand's exquisite designs. The international expansion is equally strategic. Hyun Bin, one of Korea's most influential actors, has become Loro Piana's first global Asian ambassador, a reflection of the brand's ambition to tap into emerging markets, where craftsmanship is more important than logos. But beyond celebrity and social clout, the brand's dominance stems from something deeper. Loro Piana uses fibers that cannot be replicated. Vicuña wool and baby cashmere are fibers that are limited by nature. They cannot be replicated. They cannot be cut. Competitors can imitate the look, but they can never imitate the feel. This rare, irreplaceable quality is what secures Loro Piana's place in the modern luxury landscape. From an investment perspective, Loro Piana has a pretty sophisticated feel. On the plus side, the brand's exceptional materials hold up beautifully over time, and some of its iconic pieces, like the open walk loafers, cashmere coats, and Vicuña scarves, are often highly valued for resale value. They're timeless, Logo-free designs also ensure longevity, but not all are desirable. Cashmere and Vicuña require high maintenance. The quiet luxury trend can change, and the initial price tag is prohibitive for most buyers. In conclusion, Loro Piana is not the best financial investment, but it is an excellent investment in quality, durability, and craftsmanship for those who truly appreciate understated luxury. The story of Loro Piana offers lessons that go far beyond fashion. At its core, the brand is a reminder that true luxury is about fabrics, not logos. In an age dominated by mass production and fast fashion, Loro Piana remains a quiet testament to the enduring value of rare materials, meticulous craftsmanship, and human skill. It shows that scarcity still matters, and that elegance does not have to be ostentatious to be noticed. After all, quiet luxury is not about flaunting wealth, it is about the confidence that comes from knowing what you are wearing. For anyone considering a purchase, clarity is essential. Be clear about your purpose. Are you buying to wear every day, to collect, or to resell? Each requires a different approach. If you are just starting out, start with timeless, branded basics like a cashmere coat, a baby cashmere turtleneck, or a pair of beloved open-walk loafers. These pieces offer the most durability, versatility, and value retention. However, luxury fabrics require careful care. Before investing, make sure you understand how to care for cashmere and Vicuña wool, from proper storage, gentle washing, to long-term preservation. Their beauty only lasts with proper care. If budget is an issue, consider the resale market, where pre-owned Loro Piana pieces are often more affordable. And above all, buy based on feel, fit, and emotion, not hype. Luxury should work for you, not the other way around. As we wrap up this in-depth analysis, I would love to hear your thoughts. Which brand should I analyze next? Brunello Cucinelli, Hermes, or perhaps another quiet luxury icon waiting to be deciphered? Comment below. Your idea could become the next episode. Why is it so expensive? If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what topic you would like me to cover in the next video.